Rich, is this Snog, Marry, Kill?
Almost.
Yeah. What is it?
Almost.
Yeah, nearly.
Well, now we're fighting on all three fronts.
Yeah.
Champions League qualification, FA Cup, Champions League. If you had to pick one, which one would you pick out of the three, Kev?
Oh.
I would pick, without any hesitation, even though I can caveat it with other answers, I'd pick the FA Cup, because I think silverware and a trophy is the most important thing. Now, for the long-term future of the club, obviously, Champions League qualification, I think, and I've said it many times, is essential. But when you're where you are now with the Championship team away in the quarterfinals, you're 2 matches from winning the thing for the first time. We'll have won that trophy in, God, what will it be? 78 years. And it is way more prestigious than the League Cup, which our illustrious neighbours won 14 years ago, and we've won 5 of it. It's as my old man used to say to me, God rest his soul, the most important cup competition and the first cup competition in the world, and we have not won it for far too long. So it would be FA Cup, followed by Champions League qualification, followed by Champions League, purely because I just think that's going to be a way, way harder thing to achieve.
Won the FA Cup since 1957, Martin. It would be something, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and even in my lifetime, I've actually never seen Aston Villa win a cup, and I don't care what anybody says. I'm not counting the playoff trophy as a major trophy. That's just
you can't. You can't.
That's just finishing third in the
what's the other one we won?
What's
the other one we won, Kev?
We won the Peace Cup. We won the orange trophy, and I like the orange one particularly because it was the one he got a trophy for a pre-season.
I don't care. I'm living on this earth now 29 years now this year, and I've not seen Aston Villa win anything. So
well, there you go.
I take the FA Cup. I'll take the Champions League. I don't care. But if I was being realistic with myself,
I'll take the Champions League just casually. Yeah, I'll take the Champions League if I have to.
Yeah, I just thought I'd throw it in there since no one was talking about it. I just try to get something in with the Champions League. I mean, I'd love it. My God, if we did win that, you wouldn't see me for a year. I even told my supervisor, well, you're not going to see me for a year. And he's a Villa fan as well. He said, I might join you on that.
He'd be with you.
Stuck in Munich together, you know.
So would yours be the FA Cup, mate? Would that be yours if you had to choose one of the three?
If I was being realistic, I'd choose the FA Cup. If I was in Dreamland, I'd be going with the Champions League. But I'm going with the FA Cup as my official answer.
Yeah, how do you see it panning out with regards to he's wanted the options, but balancing up the squad coming, for this next, minimum 12 games?
Well, I do think now that, again, fingers crossed, touching wood, right now, that we can keep the majority of the squad fit, because I do think it's the time now to see what Emery's all about in terms of utilising the qualities, and the quality players that he's got at his disposal. Because we're going to need to, if we're going to successfully negotiate this tricky period, we're going to absolutely need to. And I do think there will be, I've said this a few times on the pod the last few months, I do think there'll be moments, a lot of players this season have had moments that, we sometimes forget about. We've got to remember all the stuff that Duran did, the winner against, obviously, Bayern. Let's not forget Barkley got the winner in a match that got us through to the top 8 of the, obviously, of the, Champions League. Mings and Bailey combined to get us that first goal, which was so essential against Bruges. And Mings, obviously, people are writing him off 3 or 4 weeks ago, and Bailey's been terrible all season, apparently. And all of a sudden they are, so you get my point. You look at the massive win, which might go somewhere to getting us top 5 Premier League position. And obviously Olsen was a massive part of that, wasn't he, in the way win at Brentford? So I do think we're going to see more moments from Maatsen. I know he got his first goal the other day. I think the midfield guys, I think we're going to need to rotate that. And Barkley and Nana, I think we'll see stuff from them. I can see Rashford chipping in with goals. I can see Marlon definitely. And You got other players around that squad that, all of a sudden, if you're a Dino and you lose your place for a couple of weeks to Matson, or you're a Matty Cash, you got a bit of a point to prove. Pau Torres, I think, is going to have some big games for us. And it's just such an exciting time to be a Villa fan. You talk about that second team I just mentioned then, but we actually have put the Crystal Palace aberration to one side for a second, Martin. We've got a really, really good squad now. A really good squad. We're probably a little bit light up top. We probably think since Duran's gone, but obviously we've got different options in terms of this modern football. But we've got a number of weapons. We've got a lot of defensive solidity. And we've got a really great midfield in terms of attacking and defensive options. So it's time to shine now for these players. And these players have got a chance to etch their names into the history of this club. And yeah, we talk about what's happened for Newcastle. And look, I put a tweet out saying, when I said I wanted them to lose, I was just jealous. But I'll be honest. I'm delighted that they won, but we've got a real opportunity now to do something special, and we have to take it. We've mentioned all those unfancied teams earlier, the Denmarks with Leicester. Christo said quite clearly I should have mentioned Greece, because I was in Greece for the Euro win in 2004, in Greece, in Zakynthos. What an unbelievable experience. You don't forget those moments. And there's a generation of Villa fans. I remember going back even 4 or 5 years when I be at my lad's football when he first got into football, and there'd be like loads of Man City shirts and Arsenal shirts. I feel like I'm seeing more Villa shirts now. You win a big trophy, you cement that generation of Villa fans, and this squad of players under this manager could do something special that we'll be talking about for the rest of our lives, with our children, with our grandchildren. So carpe diem, Aston Villa Football Club. Let's have it.
And this is probably a little bit of a look ahead. With the squad that we've got, with the situation we talked about, kind of getting a trophy win in the cabinet, finishing in a European spot. Next season's goals for Vela asked us on the comments. What would you suggest in terms of looking ahead to next season? And this could be anything. I mean, I know we had a bit of fun in the group chat about scoring more goals and conceding less. What would it be, Kev?
Oh, you've asked me this question, haven't you? So,
Liverpool need a bit of a rebuild. Arsenal haven't got a striker. Man City, the charges against them.
Well, you've took the words out of my mouth. I predicted we finish third this season, and I'm still disappointed based on some of the points we left on the table that were not way higher up in the league if you look at what Forest have done. But absolutely, you knew what I was thinking about, Villa Man Cloudy. You knew what I was thinking about. This Liverpool team was not fancy to do what they've done this season. I know, obviously, that there's been the consistency of keeping the majority of the squad together, but I do think they've had a bit of luck with other teams having big injuries against them. I think they've had a bit of luck generally. I think they've also been very, very, very consistent, and Salah's been absolutely on fire. And you combine those factors at the same time, and Arsenal and Man City falter, and therefore you've got the lead they've got. But I don't think they're absolutely infallible, and it's just the consistency they've had really well. Arsenal, Man City more consistent than us, but I still think they're beatable. You can argue it's probably a step too far to say win the Premier League, but do you know what? If we get Champions League qualification, we've got the money, and we add it in again in the summer. Why not? Why not? I mean, someone's got to win it. We've got a phenomenal manager. We've got a brilliant squad. If we can bolster that to get a bit more consistency, who knows? I mean, I really thought 2 years ago when we finished fourth, I thought at one point at the Christmas, let's not forget, we were going to be top at Christmas if we beat Sheffield United.
We were, yeah, exactly. We were a Sheffield United win away from.
I was at that game. Yeah. Don't mind me.
Yeah, and momentum in sport and in life is everything. You've got to look at just countless examples of that. So I look at it and think we're competing in the Premier League. It's too boring to say finish top 4, top 5, and win a trophy. We're going to do that this season. Let's try and win the bloody league.